How the turns tables. Sheesh, OP. Want to spread rumors about me? Fine, I will make your wishes true. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Daisha's Digest, and today we are getting into some petty revenge. Partner told not qualified for a job until they needed him to fill in. Took a year, but the revenge was oh so sweet. Many years ago, partner 40s male wanted to apply for a project management job in his current company. Would be a promotion and salary upgrade. The division head where the job was located told him not to bother applying as he wasn't qualified. Background, partner had same qualifications as person leaving. He had previously blocked division head from illegally using funds. Lord forbid he told them no. When they tried to go over his head, company supervisor also told them no, as what they wanted to do was illegal, backing up my partner. Fast forward a year later, the person they hired for the job had to go on medical leave for 3 to 4 months. In a meeting between partner's section and division head, one who told him not to bother applying for a position, he stated partner could just fill in to do the job while other person was gone. In front of everyone from both his company and all the division bigwigs, partner said in a completely calm, expressionless voice, "You told me last year I wasn't qualified to do the job, so not to even bother applying, as you'd make sure I didn't get it. However, if you feel I am now qualified, I will be happy to do the job temporarily at the higher salary." The room was silent. The director of the division looked at the head and asked, "Did you actually say that? It's illegal and a potential lawsuit, by the way." When the guy stuttered and tried to explain, basically admitting he did say that, the director held up his hand to stop him from incriminating himself and the division and told the guy, "We will discuss this later. Meanwhile, you will be taking over the position duties while the person is on medical leave." After everyone from their division left, my partner's boss told him she about bust from keeping the laughter in at the guy's face and wished she could be a fly on the wall for that conversation. Edit to clarify, department head had to cover the position duties while the other person was on leave, not my partner. Department head got extra work, no extra pay. How the turns tables. Selling on Facebook, lowballed, accepted their offer, and had them meet me at the local pub. When I list something on Facebook Marketplace, I do it with the intention of selling it basically right away. What does this mean? It means my price is low, sometimes too low, and firm. I don't budge on price, but that has never mattered. They always buy it at a full price anyway. I absolutely hate getting 50, is it still available messages. When I get one of those, I just delete and ignore. A few days ago, I was selling a set of new takeoff tires and wheels. MSRP was in the $2,500 range. Used prices were in the $1,500 to $2,000 range. I listed these at $1,000. Within an hour, I had probably 20 messages about them. My response is always the same. The price is the price. I will not hold them. First come, first serve. One of the guys who messaged me offered $250. These are a slow sell at $2,000, but a near instant sale at $1,000. There's no world where $250 was an appropriate offer. So I told him that. My word for word, punctuation for punctuation response to his offer was no. But that didn't stop him. He justified his offer by sending several listings showing other tires, etc. So I blocked him and moved on. Fast forward 10 minutes, and I get another message from a different Facebook account with the same offer. This guy was now using a second Facebook account, so I blocked this second account. And then he did it with a third account. I was done at this point. Clearly, I couldn't win by just blocking and moving on. This guy was relentless. His strategy was to literally annoy the living crap out of you until you just said yes. And blocking his accounts wouldn't work. Who knows how many accounts this guy had? And so I did what any other sane person would do and accepted his $250 offer. I told him I would take his $250 offer, but that he would have to meet me later that night as I was currently busy. He said that he was about a 2-hour drive from me and asked to meet me halfway. I said no. Hold on, let me just pause. This guy has the audacity to ask for a quarter of the asking price. And then, not to mention, since you live 2 hours away, you want them to drive an hour to you to basically lose out on 75% of the profit that they could have made, and they got to pay for gas to come to you. And he probably doesn't even live 2 hours away. He probably only lives an hour away and is asking them to meet up where he actually lives versus in the middle. You know what I'm saying? And then to be making multiple Facebook accounts to try and badger this guy into saying, yes, this is wild. I said no. He was eager to make a quick buck off of me, so agreed to drive to me. There is a street in our town that has a few pubs on it. 3 of these pubs are within about half a mile of each other, kind of set up so you park on the street and walk between them. And these pubs are usually busy by 11 p.m. By busy, I mean there is 0 parking anywhere. You usually have to park at least a half mile away and walk to the pub. And so I did what any sane person would do and set the meet for 11 p.m. at one of these local pubs. I sent him a message at around 10:45 p.m. and asked him to meet me in the pub, and we could walk over to my truck and grab the wheels and tires. He messaged me at 11 p.m. and told me he was out front. There was no way to park out front without blocking the entire street, and traffic is usually heavy at 11 p.m., meaning he couldn't just wait out front. He would have to move. So again, I did what any sane person would do and waited until about 10 minutes after 11 p.m. to message back. In that 10 minutes, I received no less than 20 messages from him. These messages painted an amazing picture as he grew more and more frustrated, as he sent screenshots of his location, asking if he was in the right place, as he kept telling me he would drive down the block and circle back. You get the point. This is great. 10 minutes later, I sent a simple, sorry about that, didn't see your message. I'm at the bar in XYZ pub, just park and come in, I'll grab you a beer. He accepted the offer, parked what I assume was half a mile plus away, and walked to the pub. 10 more minutes of me not responding, and 20 minutes later, I sent a simple, sorry about that, didn't see your message. I walked down to PDQ pub, probably 500 yards away, thinking you may be there. Meet me down here? Fast forward until right around midnight, I had made this man drive 2 hours one way, walk at least 2 miles, go into all 3 pubs, and curse me every way to Sunday, and he was still 2 hours from home. So I did what any sane person would do and turned off Facebook notifications and went to bed. Oh, and the wheels and tires sold earlier that day for exactly $1,000. Bravo, OP. That was very satisfying. I mean, he had it coming, because if you just can't accept no for an answer, then I'm gonna make sure you know I really mean no. And the fact that he had already sold the tires before all of this even happened, the fact that he was probably at home just, eating dinner, messaging this guy on Facebook like, oh, I'm at this pub, just come meet me here, there. Great. Girl petty revenge drama from college times. So this happened around 10 years back when I was in college doing my final semester of my master's. Yes, I am a millennial. First, a little bit of a background. I was living in a hostel accommodation provided by the college and was sharing my room with 2 other female college mates. One was in the same level of master's as me, let's call her A, while the other one was doing her bachelor's, let's call her B. B was new to our room, and me and A had been friends and roommates for 2 years now without any issues. I had a bunch of nice things. I used to be a minimalist, but I had a decent grooming hardware of good brands. B asked me once to try out my hair straightener, and I let her. She never asked me to use it again after that because she would use it without asking me. I am generally a super chill person, and as long as my straightener was available to me when I needed it, I didn't mind. She's better than me. Likewise, B had started using a bunch of my other tools and stuff without asking me about it. I didn't raise an issue or even have any issue with it because, like I said before, if I have it when I need it, I don't mind sharing. I would travel home very often, almost every weekend, since it was a 3-hour travel by the local bus. One time when I was back to my hostel, I noticed my favorite shirt missing. I loved that shirt and wore it quite often, hence I noticed it missing. I got to the common bathroom to relieve myself, and I see my shirt bundled up and lying in the corner like a wet wiping rag. I was sure I had folded it up and kept it in my wardrobe when I left for home. That very day, I tell my friend, classmate of A, about this bizarre thing about my shirt, and she asked me if it was a blue, oversized t-shirt I always wear, and I said yes, because it was. Then she proceeds to tell me how she saw B wearing my tee and parade around during the weekend, and that she thought I had let her, B, borrow my clothes as well. I absolutely lost it. I hate sharing clothes, cosmetics, toiletries, and stuff that touches my skin directly. This biatch, B, thought it would be okay to open my wardrobe and wear things and then throw it like a rag in the bathroom corner. She didn't even have the decency to wash it and put it back. Now, B also had a lot of nice things as well, particularly her dresses that seemed quite expensive. She used to keep them in a separate suitcase under her bed. All I had to do was wait. I purchased a good amount of castor oil and waited. At the end of the final semester, she had left her precious suitcase unlocked. A day before I was clearing out my room, I emptied my stash of castor oil on all her dresses. I made sure that each and every dress got a good amount of castor oil bath. Then I folded them as they were and put it all back. I bet she didn't even check her clothes for a couple of days. This was a good long time for the stain to become pretty permanent. I feel very proud of it. No one should take anyone's nice gestures for granted. Sheesh, OP. That's to me, that's some serious drama. I don't know if I have the guts to do something like that. I feel like the ends didn't justify the means. Like, okay, I actually wore one of your shirts, but then you went and ruined all her nice dresses. I mean, I get it. You felt very strongly about the situation, but jeez, I wouldn't want to cross you. All right, next story. Want to spread rumors about me? Fine, I will make your wishes true. Yikes. This happened a couple of years ago when I was in my last year of high school, and the person who had initially approached me as a friend started to slowly become my bully. For some context, I have always been socially awkward and didn't have many friends. I remember this girl, Maria, reaching out to me since the very first day in high school. We became inseparable for a while, then distanced ourselves and started hanging out again. It was like a toxic relationship. One of the first things she told me about was her boyfriend who was at so-and-so city in his first year of college, and since we had become sisters and started hanging out with them both when he was in town, he was a very kind man, which is why I was surprised they lasted about 4 years together, despite Maria cheating all around while he was away at college. We live in an area of small towns that were about 40 minutes away from each other, and everyone knew everything. Rumors would spread so fast, so of course that Noah, Maria's boyfriend, would hear about it. She was able to gaslight him about them being fake at first, but then he stayed despite believing them and started to think she cheated because he was not enough and he would do his best to be better for her. Noah and I had conversations every now and then where he would mostly just ask if Maria was mad at him and if she had talked to me about it and what should he do to keep her happy. So in summary, we talked but never crossing the "you're my friend's boyfriend" line. After some time, Maria and I had distance since she had previously started other rumors about me, some even based on some of my trauma experiences I shared when I thought she was trustworthy. The thing is, I don't like conflict, but I can sense when it's coming my way, so I silently started to prepare. Maria had used her Messenger account on my phone once and didn't log out of it, so I had it for about 4 months, in which I took screenshots of every conversation she had with men that she cheated on Noah with, and boy, were there many. Before we graduated, our school was doing an event where each class would have one queen, and we would be having competitions where points would be given for a class prize. As the pick-me girl that Maria is, she nominated herself, and we just went with it. The last day had come where the queen would be announced after a mini parade. Since our class wanted to win, it was our last year, everyone was going all out. We were at Maria's house decorating her parade car while she got ready. Even Noah was helping. Fast forward a week after it happened, I started hearing rumors that Maria spread, telling people I had slept with Noah that night while she was busy and how I'm such a bad person. I honestly thought at first I had to talk with her and assure her I wouldn't do that. I was so naive. She obviously ignored me when I tried to talk to her. I still had her Messenger account, and that's how I knew she had started the rumor, despite knowing it was fake. I let them be and continued minding my business, which seemed to enrage them more, and they started spreading even more rumors. Then I saw a conversation where they were planning on beating me up on my birthday that was coming in a couple weeks. This is when I thought it was too much. They had me blocked, but other people started sharing the stories they uploaded, which were screenshots of their conversation, making fun of my appearance and literally everything. I was able to reach one of her minions that hadn't blocked me and ask them to stop, or I would start messing with them as well, and also asked to tell Maria to unblock me so we could talk. Her friend then proceeded to insult me and make fun of me, saying they would do whatever they wanted. I then shared a couple of the screenshots I had with conversations that reflected her cheating journey and said there were plenty more where that came from, and if Maria didn't want me to share to her parents how much of a loose person she was, she would chill the F down. Her parents were super Christian, and this wouldn't have been good for her, but this was just to make her stop, and it worked. She immediately changed her Messenger password and kicked me out of the account, but I didn't need it anymore. My revenge was when I started for real messing around with Noah, who was still in a relationship with Maria. Therefore, I became the bad person she always saw in me. Oh boy! We didn't keep it a secret and would go on dates all over the town, so people would see us and end up telling her. He knew I wanted to piss her off, and to be honest, so did he. We thought it was a win-win. I even started putting pictures of Noah as wallpaper on my phone and my notebooks. That is ruthless! Seeing Maria in school was now my favorite thing. She would not talk to me, but would have a very pissed looking face. Our school now started to make fun of her because I had stolen her boyfriend and started cheering me when we crossed paths. It honestly felt great. She had tried to make my life hell, and now I flipped our luck. Although it only lasted for a couple months before we graduated, it is still the best revenge story I have so far. As for Noah and I, we eventually started a real relationship that lasted for about 2 years. We decided to end on good terms and go our different ways since our paths did not align. Bravo, OP! That's a petty revenge I can get behind. Because Maria, she sounded like an absolute monster. Like the back and forth, the talking about you, and then she was like planning to beat you up for what? She was planning to physically assault you for what? So, I mean, you did what you had to do. She spoke it into existence. That's how I see it. We have one more petty revenge story. So before I get to that one, if you are liking this video so far, make sure you give it a like and consider subscribing Also, comment below. I want to hear your thoughts about what you think of the story so far. So let's get into the last one. Boyfriend has been gaslighting me for years about his bad cough and playing mind games. I'm done. My boyfriend loves to maliciously comply, lie by twisting my words in his head to mean something different, and play head games with me using seemingly innocent things to manipulate a situation. For the last 3 years, he's had a brain-piercing cough that he refuses to see the doctor about. He also gets offended if I nicely ask him to muffle them because they're really loud. And I noticed he kept coughing at the end of my sentences as a way to deflect any answers. It was happening multiple times a day where he would have a coughing fit and not reply to whatever I was saying when it was a situation where I was expecting a reply. I would even repeat myself and he would still ignore me. His mom thinks he uses sneezing to ignore her in conversation too. When I found that out, I knew I wasn't crazy like he was trying to make me feel. He told me I was being crazy for getting upset at his coughing, something he can't help. Until I realized he literally coughs on a schedule, almost like it's an OCD compulsion. I noticed that my body tenses up when I'm expecting him to cough. Then I notice he literally coughs on a schedule. He does it when he walks to the side door, when he opens the fridge, and in many other situations. I started coughing in sync with him. Then, when I noticed he coughs on a schedule, I started doing it before he would, which eliminated the cough entirely. For example, I know he coughs anytime he walks out the back door, right when he walks past our pantry. So I started coughing right before he did, and then he won't cough himself. Anytime I beat him to his cough compulsion, 9 times out of 10, he won't do it. I know this petty revenge sounds crazy, but he also plays so many other mind games with me. This isn't the only one, just the most obnoxious one because it sounds so innocent, and I really thought I was an a-hole for getting upset at his coughing habits until I realized how scheduled they were. Nobody naturally coughs on such a tight schedule where it can be predicted. I feel so stupid for gaslighting myself for years, and I'm silently plotting my escape. His other favorite thing to do is throw in a girl's last name into our casual conversations. We broke up briefly a few years ago because I caught him looking at a local 18-year-old's spicy pictures. Now he will randomly insert her name into our conversations. Her last name is, so he'll say her last name instead of something like, "Oh no," which is really creepy, and if I were to bring it up, he'd definitely say I just misheard him and I'm crazy, but it's pretty hard to continuously accidentally pronounce no with a hard G sound. He's even said it while we're being intimate, which makes no sense because why would he be saying "oh no" during that time anyway? Girl, I'm glad you are silently plotting your escape because how have you dealt with this for a few years? This is crazy. Someone who acts in this way is a dangerous person because for you to just be so malicious in such small ways for no reason, like, what's the reason? Like, why? I feel like a person like this, it will just get worse and worse and bigger. Like the lies will just get bigger and bigger and worse over time. So I'm glad you're planning to get out of this situation because wow. But the petty revenge was oh so sweet and nobody got hurt. So applause to you for that course of action. And that concludes today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Daisha's Digest, and I'll see you in the next video.